this little blueberry muffin. Sammy and I are on my back deck, and oh my goodness, it is beautiful out here. It's beautiful. Oh, here comes some ravens. That's the pair. They've been very busy today. Very, very busy today. And the magpies and the blue jays. Yow, yow, I hear you. They're right low here. Anyway, so Sammy and I are out here enjoying the day. Do you want some? Very good. Very, very good. Yeah, he likes blueberry muffins. Sam. Day number 2 or day number 3, we were able to come out here and sit and just enjoy the day. I have a video. This will be part 2. This is part 2 coming to you from Seven Creeks. And before I go any further, can you see that sign up there behind me? And read what it says. Can you see what it says there? This place is protected by Bigfoot. And I believe that 100%. And no, I'm not being protected here by evil or by fallen angels or Nephilim. There's no Nephilim here protecting my house, right? I've got a lifetime of experience here, right? Therein lies the difference between what all these people are just, it's just a lot of chatter. They've never had their own encounters or experiences, or I think in that way, I know, I understand, I know the feel of them, what kind of energy they put off. You know, if they're getting angry at some humans, I don't blame them. Most times they will just disappear and they stay away from any kind of altercation, as it's their nature. They're very passive, they're very quiet, they're patient, right? I do know some stories where they have intervened and they've stepped in, whether it be forestry, construction companies, oil, gas, and many times they have intervened on the part of native people on reserves. The people there were being either harassed by oil companies, or the Sasquatch have stepped up and they have intervened, kind of put a stop to things. A lot of times these people, these companies, whether it be oil, gas, what have you, they don't quite understand what's going on. They can't figure out why their equipment stops working. Nothing electrical will work. They come to the work site and trucks and tractors are tipped over. They don't see any evidence, and there's no human. This is in the middle of nowhere, right? There has been times where they've seen the tracks, and all progress is halted, right? Because nothing will work. And of course, they can't find the workers to work in these areas because people are too freaked out, right? They're scared. They're scared to be there. And so I do know many of those stories where, I mean, there are places where it's sacred to the Sasquatch, or it's important to them, and if there's, you know, if they're going to brush it or log it out, or oil companies move in, gas lines, pipelines, what have you, if it means enough, they will step in, right? They will. But 90%, my friends, 90% of the time, they will just leave things alone, disappear, go further back, stay. They do not want the altercations, right? There is a lot of weird, crazy stories out there. True, and some of them are just made up, just plain BS, right? They're just fiction, based on the noise, right? And yeah, my last video, I had to remove some people because they just can't move beyond it. And yet they are here. Like, why are you here if you think these things are evil and they're bad and they're Nephilim, and why are you here, right? Why are you so interested in them? And if you believe that, why are you so attracted to that evil, then you need to ask those questions for yourself, right? Right there speaks volumes to me about these. And if you believe that, why are you so attracted to that evil, then you need to ask those questions for yourself, right? Right there speaks volumes to me about these individuals. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about these people that choose that line of thinking. Why they want to go there with the subject, and they get so brainwashed into it. They get angry if you confront them or question their belief. They're not having experiences. I am, right? This is real. This is a big part of my life. This is my life, and they've always been a part of it. So, man, that little squirrel, out of there's about 3 or 4 here, little females. She is the most vocal and the most aggressive, and she comes here for her cookies, but she's mad because I'll show you why she's mad. It's his fault. I've seen him go after the squirrels, and I got after him. This is Whiny. His name is Whiny, and he does live up to his name. He's very whiny. He's always wanting something. Treats, cuddle. He loves to cuddle. Yeah, I know. I know. All right. But anyway, so, okay. I'm going to put you down here. I'm going to put you down for a minute. For a minute. Let me finish here. A lot of times I think, what's the point, right, of me speaking about what I believe, what I experience, what they've shared with me about them, about their own kind, about their species, because you get these people, right, and they make it very difficult, and I find this is where it's very insulting to me. I'm not out here dealing with demons and devils and Lucifer, and that's just a whole bunch of noise. That's a whole bunch of BS. If there are any more that come in aggressively like that at me, they're gone, right? I don't have the time and the energy to deal with those kind of people. They're brainwashed. They're conditioned. It's insulting for you to think about me having a relationship and connecting with devils and demons and fallen angels and Lucifer's minions, right? That's insulting because I'm an empath. I'm a seer. I've been a seer my whole life, and I can pick up on evil. I can pick up on the negative. I can pick up on bad energy, and as well I can pick up the good, the love, the light, right? And as you age and as you get older, I'm in my mid-50s now, those things heighten, right? And you learn to trust that 100%, and it's never let me down. It's not failed me, and I know what I'm dealing with. And like I say, if there's some bad experiences happening out there, I would question the person that it's happening to, right? And you can't tell me they're not just doing nothing. It could be the actual personality type, right? A person out who's very, very, very angry, dealing with anger issues, or what have you, or people out there with guns, violence. There's so many variables, there's so many things to consider with these stories. But on a normal situation, they're not going to bother you. People, humans. 98% of the situations where there's a negative experience, we got to look at the person that's involved, right? We have to go there, because if you were out there, if you went out there and you were of light and love and doing good things, and your intentions were good, they know that. They hone in on that, and it's all about where your heart is, where your mind is, and things will be okay. There could be a mental illness with some of these people that are having bad experiences. That's why I mentioned in my previous video, we don't know the details, right? We don't know who these people are that are having these bad experiences, what kind of people they are, what the whole story is. We're only getting a small little portion. And again, I would just, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think it's very important for all those that are watching. I think it's important for everybody. Be careful what you listen to and take in. Not all of it is what it seems, and not all of it is true. I think it all goes back to the individual or the person or the people and what they were doing at the time, what their view is, what their beliefs are. And for those that do, that want to run with that narrative that they're bad and evil, be careful, right? I would say never go out into the trees with that attitude or that belief. It's not going to bode well. I can guarantee that 100%. Because they're going to hone in on you. You're going to be like a beacon out there. And they might just teach you a lesson, right? And it more than likely will be a lesson that would change your heart and change your mind. And depending on the clan member, and depending on what they decide, or it's going to be something negative and they're going to teach you a lesson, right? Sometimes it does, though. It takes individuals to have their own personal encounter or experience with them, and it changes them forever. It's life-changing. I know that. I've spoken to people who were, the ones that were always calling me crazy, or my family crazy, or people that believed in them crazy, who were, the ones that were always calling me crazy, or my family crazy, or people that believed in them crazy. And one experience changes them. I know one gentleman who spent a lifetime after apologizing to a lot of people because he had his own encounter and he couldn't deny it. He did convey to me that it changed him forever, completely. An absolutely non-believer to 100%. These are real. Right? These are real. But anyway, we'll get right into the... You want some more? Do you? Think it's a good day. A good day. Okay, folks. We'll get right into the... You can have the last one. All right. Good boy. Okay, we'll get right into the pictures. I'm going to share two. And this is kind of amazing, and this happened as I was headed south along that along that tree line. That was in episode 2, and that one big fella showed up behind me along the trees, in those spruce trees. He just seems to appear there, but he is there. There is a Bigfoot there, one of the clan, and he is built. He is solid muscle. And I think you can make this out in the still image. I could see it plainly. My parents and my grandparents taught me years ago, you can't please everybody, right? Don't ever try to. Don't ever try to do it. You won't. It will never happen. Take care. Stay safe. And we'll get right into those pictures. And I will see you in the trees. Bye for now. For those that are wondering, what you're seeing on my computer screen here, Nakatoki, which means listen carefully, listen closely. All right, here we go. This was at Seven Creeks in episode 2. I had walked along that tree line and then went east up into the trees. He shows up behind me back there in the trees. I think you may see him. For those that are looking at a large, big screen smart TV, maybe, possibly. We'll zoom in here a little bit. Okay. And you know what? It almost looks like he's got paint, like 2 stripes on his forehead, and it could be just the shine, glare, could be the light reflecting off of his forehead, but it really truly does look like he's got paint. He keeps his eyes and nose behind the spruce bough. I'm going to zoom in one more. He is full of muscle, this one. I'm going to outline, okay, we're going to go to the top of his head here. Top of his head. I'll come down here. This would be the nape of his neck. You know, they don't have much of a neck, right? He would be facing south. Okay, this is where I want to show you. Okay, I want to point these out. Right here. It looks like 2 lines of paint coming down his forehead right there. And I see an ear right here. His chin right here. All right, look at that chest. I believe this is his muscles, right? You can see his chest here. This would be his left arm coming down into this area here, and this is his chest here, and his I don't know, I wouldn't know if he had a 6-pack or not, but there are some muscles here right there. And we're coming on, this would be his right shoulder. I'm thinking this may be his left thigh, because those spruce boughs are a little bit forward of him. He's further back. And this here, I mentioned it in my previous video about them. 7 Creeks. I've seen a lot of my pictures. Of course, they work with the wood, right? You guys can let me know what you think here, but I see 4 fingers here. Just get a subtle hint of a little finger. This could be the tip of his thumb. This piece right here, a cane or staff, some kind of staff. Possibly, right? Possibly. And let's get rid of all the blue. I'm going to bring in the diffuse glow filter here. That always helps to see them a little bit better. Always does. Okay, and we'll zoom in there. I hope you can see that. I'm almost 100% positive those are fingers right here. These are fingers right in here. I see that would be his. There are 4 fingers. The staff. It shows up in almost every still. It's situated a little bit different. It's back. It's in there. It's in there. That he's holding on to something using a staff, cane possibly. And this is where we got his chest muscles here. And then I see the stomach muscles, right? Those 2 stripes, these 2 stripes here, they could be just a shine off of his forehead. I don't know how far they go down. That would have been interesting, right? But he kept his nose and eyes right behind that spruce bough. In all of the images I grabbed, he kept his eyes. Of course, from their vantage point, they could probably see through those spruce boughs. They could see me because I'm out in the open, right? And again, we got just to go over this again. That's the top of his head there. I see an ear right here. Right here, the chin. Chin is there.
fingers. And a couple of the other images that I grabbed, you could see those fingers pretty clearly. We'll get rid of this blue here. Very good, right? Isn't that amazing? Seeing this correctly, he is built like a brick house. A brick house, a solid, big, beefy, muscular Sasquatch from Seven Creeks. I don't know yet who this is. What? Maybe they'll share a name. You never know. Sometimes that stuff comes through, right? It does come through. We'll see as we go forward. All right, I'm going to bring in that other image here. Okay, here is this one too. It kind of does have the lines on his forehead. He's situated a little bit different. I'll zoom in for you. And I think he's more facing me in this one. See, this one here, you could see those fingers a little bit more clear, but you don't really get a view too much of his chest. He's turned his body a little bit. That's how I know it's them, right? Because these are just within a second or two of each other that I'm grabbing the still images, and his position's changed. It's changing. I'm not moving. Keep that in mind. I was standing still and I was talking, I think I was talking about across the road where all the noises were coming from. And in this one, where his fingers are, I'm going to point them out here. One there, and a little bit, this would be the edge of his pinky finger. But see, the staff is there. You can see it a little bit better here. It would run down. Or cane. Maybe he's injured. Maybe he needs a walking stick, right? We don't know the details there, but I mean, I believe he is carrying a staff or a walking stick, a cane, or it could be some kind of tool. We don't know enough about the things that they're able to do and that they use tools. Do they use tools? Out of the 4 places that I go visit, this group, always something in their hands, right? Always something in their hands. And again, you can see his chin here. Maybe possibly a little bit of his mouth right there. But again, he kept most of his face behind that branch, that spruce bough. But here you can see the lines on his forehead, and this one too. We don't get a clear view, or we can't really see the ear there. I would say this would be his left arm back in there, part of his body. Wherever it's dark brown, that would be a piece of him. His right shoulder, top of his head, very cone-shaped head. And you can almost make out the eyes there, right? He's looking right at me. Just imagine his face behind that spruce bough. Just looking at me, watching me. After doing this for a few years, that they have scouts. They have ones that monitor their territory. And I think that's where a lot of people are getting the idea that there's these rogue males. I don't think they're rogues. What I think has happened is they have guards, scouts, monitoring their territories, right? Traveling the mile, probably putting on a lot of miles constantly. I don't think the concern is too much about the humans, but it's other clans, right? There are other groups, other clans that come through or that are traveling. Trust me, we heard a fight. I'll share that story with you at some point, it sounded like they were tearing the forest apart. And it's a crazy sound to hear, but it reminded me of that, like, right? But loud, imagine that 10 times louder and deeper, and it was so loud that we were sitting in the house and we thought it was coming from right outside our door. And when we stepped out of the front door, then we realized it was coming from a good quarter of a mile across our yard, across the road, and into these trees. and then the screaming, right? If you've ever heard the screaming, and I believe the females, they were screaming. But anyway, I believe they have these scouts, these males, or it could be a female, that they monitor their territory. And you know what? I just noticed it almost looks like there could be another one behind him, but I don't know that. Back in there, right? As I'm talking to you, I'm studying the image, but we'll focus on him. I'm sure other people are seeing other things back in there, but we got to be careful with all that. But he is there, and you can't, you can't. I mean, you can't not see him. I mean, you can choose not to, but he's there. I changed things up a little bit, right? I went a different direction. I walked a different area, and again, change. They don't deal well with change, so I think they were very curious as to what I was doing, and then realized, I'm just going for a walk. We'll bring in the diffuse glow a little bit here, so you can see things a little bit clearer. Sharpen that up. Yeah, see that? Yeah, it almost brings his eyes through those branches, and we'll zoom in. Let's zoom in on his face a little bit. Yeah, I see fingers, I see a staff or a cane. Again, we have the chin here. Here. And here are the markings. I'm still not sure if that is indeed a paint of some kind, or it's just a reflection off of his forehead. But it is his forehead, right? And the top of his head is up here. Top of his head. Nape. Right shoulder. Let's say this is left arm. Cane, staff, and we can see those fingers better in this one. A big, muscular, beefy Sasquatch for you. 7 Creeks. Oh, it is amazing. I will leave that there. I do have a third part coming to you shortly, so stay tuned for that. We will get rid of this program here. How many times now over the years have we're dealing with that clan where they're carrying something, holding something. In each place that I go, there are 4 different clans that I visit, because I have the one that's living here that I'm living next to here on the farm. This is the Swan Lake clan. And then we have 7 Creeks, and then we have the river, and we have White Birch, right? They're all 4 different groups, and each one, even with the structures, there's not a great divide in between what each group does, but they have their own ways of, it would be very similar to people, right? Families, groups, communities, what have you. Each they're all kind of doing the same thing, but they have their own unique way of doing things, and that's what we're seeing here as we go forward. So that's very interesting. In 7 Creeks, it's been about sticks and staffs and all kinds of things, shields. Anyway, it's kind of amazing as we go forward, and I'm so excited about this next spring and summer coming up, and what we're going to see and hear and find out, what they're going to share with us, what they're going to teach us. Again, I think we are students in all this. We need to take the back seat, let them lead, and we just need to be okay with what they're willing to share with us. I really think that's how we need to go forward. We need to stay in that frame of mind, right? Respectful. All right, my friends, everybody take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the trees very soon. Bye for now.